Growing up in Waitara was simple. It was all about enjoying family time, hanging out with cousins, going to aunties and uncles, seeing my nana and granddad. Big family, so one of 7 and I'm the 3rd oldest. My mum and dad, Julie and Wooly, gave us a beautiful upbringing, so much love, so much passion. There was never a dull moment, lots of fighting, as you can probably imagine. But under all that, there was so much love for each other as well, and so much protection. I know that I could turn to any one of my siblings now and they would have my back 100%, and that's what was great about being one of 7 and being from a big family. School was interesting, to say the least. I love school. I really enjoyed the environment of school. I made a lot of great friends. I had a lot of people that supported me through my schooling, but I think for myself it was a little tough because I knew from a very young age that I identified as being gay, and to navigate school through those years was quite tough because there was no one I could talk to. We grew up in a religious household, and my mum and dad are very much into the church, and I'm truly grateful for their upbringing, including the religion that they instilled in us from a very young age. But on the other hand, being gay is not really accepted in the church. So I told a friend of mine via text message that I was gay and that I identified as an LGBT community member, and her brother picked up her phone and read the message and started telling people. And I know that I didn't want anyone else to tell my parents but myself, and so I had to find the courage to talk to my mum and dad and tell them who I truly was. And it was tough. I told my dad first, and I knew he would probably be the easiest out of both of them because he's such a chill guy and very loving and such a great father. And then I told my mum, and that was probably, the toughest thing for me to do. Because I knew how she felt about me being gay and about what the Bible says. And so, telling her was tough, but what made it beautiful and what made the experience a lot easier was her saying to me that she still loved me at the end of the day. And I didn't think I'd hear those words from her, and that's not because of the way she brought me up. That's just a idea and perception that I had in my mind of how she would react. But the fact that she reacted totally opposite to what I thought she would just lifted that weight off my shoulders. I am religious, but I'm still gay at the end of the day, and it does make for some tough conversations, but I think the steps that we've taken forward are huge, and I'm very proud that my family were open to the fact to take these steps forward with me and be accepting of the person who I truly am. And now my brother and I, or my brothers and I, have some good banter between us, and there's some really, really good conversations that we have, very open conversations, and it just makes me feel so lucky to be from a family that loves me for who I am. Being 6 and 7 and starting to play netball in front of the community here in Waitara, I didn't know what I was in for. When I would turn up to the netball courts on Saturday and having parents make these snarky remarks about a boy playing netball, I was just this innocent child and I was just doing what I loved, and it was tough to sort of feel like it was okay for me to play netball because I was getting all this backlash. But thankfully, and even at the age of 6 and 7, I was a strong boy, and I didn't let any of these harsh comments sort of affect or navigate my life and where I should go. And I just stuck at netball, and I'm grateful I did. I think when I got to intermediate school was when I was told that I wasn't allowed to play netball anymore. And it was sort of like a dream ending, because that's how much netball meant to me. So to be told that I wasn't allowed to play because I was a male was gut-wrenching. And I turned to basketball because that was the closest sport that could give me the same sort of flair, same sort of passion, same sort of fire that netball could, but it didn't quite hit the spot like netball did. But as soon as I could play netball again, you can bet your bottom dollar that I was straight in there. And come 15, 16, I was back playing netball. I just found that fire again, and I've never looked back. I found an environment where I could be fully myself without any sort of negative comments, without being shamed for being a male netballer. I felt very accepted. It sort of saved my life in some respect because it gave me a sense of purpose, and it gave me a community that would have my back when no one else would. When I made the New Zealand team for the first time, it was this is another tough feeling to describe, because it was like all that heartache and all that pain and all that sorrow and that struggle that I went through as a young boy playing netball, and being picked on and being made ashamed of for playing the sport. It made it all worth it. And you know, there were times where I wanted to give up and not even play the sport. You know, I was so tired of just being made fun of and being sort of this poster boy for male netball, but not in a good way. And so there were a lot of times where I wanted to give up. But when I made the New Zealand men's team for the first time, it just made it all worth it, and made me sort of pat myself on the back because I got through those tough times, and I stuck it in, and I finally got to the pinnacle of our sport as I can see it.
At centre, Kruze Tangira.
I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. Not in my day would I think that I'll be playing in front of a live audience on TV against the Silver Ferns, against my idols, Laura Langman, Tessa Kulpua, Maria Folau, Emilia Canasio. Like, all these phenomenal people. I never think that would happen in my lifetime, and so to be involved in the first ever live game between a New Zealand men's team and the Silver Ferns was just, I talk about the pinnacle of the sport, you know, making the New Zealand team for the first time in 2009 was one, but this was definitely up there. We did create history for men's netball around the world. We showed that regardless if you're a man or female, netball is for everyone, and if you have the talent, then you have the talent, and there's no stopping you from playing. So it was pretty phenomenal to be involved in that team, and the experiences that have come after that, I'm so blessed and so grateful. If anyone looks at my life now and where I'm at in men's netball, they probably think that I've had it real easy, but that is the total opposite of what I've had. And you know, I talk about being picked on and being made fun of growing up playing the sport, but no one actually realizes how tough that was mentally on me, and the struggles and the dark days that I've been through because of that. And I think it still affects me to this point, and the confidence that I have in myself. I captained the New Zealand men's team last year in the Cadbury series, but I still don't feel like I'm good enough, and that's because I wasn't made to feel good enough growing up playing the sport. And mental health, I think, in our sport is really tough. You know, there's a lot of people that come into our community that have been through so much, and the struggles are like mine or even worse. And I mean, my family don't even know, but I felt like I went through a bit of depression as well, just through, especially in my younger years when I felt like I had no one to turn to. And yeah, if I can, my hope and my wish is that if I can open up about these tough times that I went through for playing the sport that I love so much, then in turn I hope it can help someone else as well. But it was, it was tough.